And we are back live from the Peak Health and Wellness Center in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. My name is Dave Vincent. No color commentary from Dave Fink, who's held up at the airport at the moment, but we do have Abraham Montijo, the referee, in the broadcast booth. He also has access to the screen here. Abraham is getting situated with his headset. That's what we're doing now, is we're equipping our referee with his headset. How's everything feel there, Abe?
Right, it's not bad.
Okay. Abraham Montijo will announce the players here. And
all right, can you guys hear?
might have to yell a little bit there. You're watching the finals here of the first qualifier match in the Race for 8, brought to you by Simple Green, and the broadcast, of course, from First Star Sports, where you can up your game and play just like the pros do. You can see AT&T is here doing a special on their TV program and doing a documentary on Jake Plummer and the sport of handball.
Here you go. Good to go.
Referee Abe Montijo is going to call the opening score here.
All right, game is 25. 0-0.
Abe Montijo actually has access to watching the video camera here as we look at the opening rally. John Bike, 45 years of age. I thought that was a side out, but looks like John's going to go back up there and serve again.
Zero.
That's a good call by the referee. Sometimes you get intimidated by that grandmaster gamesmanship
0-0
player like John Bike, and John tried to sell it a little bit, but that ball was not going to make the front wall. Nice serve from Dan Armijo. These two have battled over their career. John Bike has a rocket of a shot, but Dan Armijo knows how to get everything hit. John Bike told me that these two played each other 26 years ago on the Pro Tour. And here they are trying to qualify, and a nice back wall kill right there from John Bike.
0-0.
26 years ago on the Pro Tour, and here they are trying to re-qualify to become pro players again.
Side out.
John Bike has been inducted into the United States Handball Association's Hall of Fame.
0-0.
0-0. Wow, nice shot right there from Dan Armijo. Beautiful kill shot from the hand.
1-0.
1-0. Dan Armijo, you wouldn't believe this, does not play much handball. He said he prepares maybe a week or so before going to a major tournament like this, but he does just mainly cardio and hiking.
2-0.
Score is 2-0. John Bike, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. He gets to play John Robles, national champion, former Pro Tour, still a top player for being 46. Look at that laser right there from John Bike. But also Nate Alvarado Sr., Nate Jr., Chris Watkins, and Al Moore, to name just a few, plus his wife and kids.
0 serving 2.
0 serves 2.
Short.
That is a smoked serve right there, even though it was short.
Second.
This is 2 games to 21. Tiebreaker to 11. Excuse me. Qualifiers are 1 game to 25. You have to win by 2.
Side out.
Still have Vegas on my mind, where we switch to the finals and semifinals.
2-0.
This is 1 game to 25, and you win by 2.
Point.
And a lot of these players are somewhat worried about that because they know that this is a momentum game.
3-0.
Score is 3-0. Here's a huge setup for Dan.
Side out.
Dan did not convert. And there's a side out.
0 serving 3.
Both of these players are masters at defensive play. John Bike, wow.
Point.
Has kind of invented his own style of defensive play with all that power.
1 serving 3.
One serves 3.
Point.
Oh yeah, John has that shot too.
2 serving 3. Short.
It's a good call from the ref.
Second. Side out. 3 serving 2.
Scores 3-2.
Side out. 2 serving 3. Short. Second.
Power just does not seem to affect
Point.
John Bike very much. He plays with it with Naughty Jr. and Chris Watkins and John Robles.
3 serving 3.
3 serves 3. Wow, nice kill shot right there
Side
from
out.
Dan Armijo. That aspect to his game has actually improved over the years.
3 serving 3.
Score here is 3-3.
Point. Four serving 3. Point. 5 serving 3.
Wow, look at that nice defensive return from John. Huge setup, takes it with his left, pins Armijo to his right, and he skips that ball in.
6 serving 3.
Look at that get right there from John Bike. John's committed to this rally. Look at that ball ride down that wall. That's defensive play
Side
at its
out.
finest right there from John Bike.
3 serving 6.
Score here is 3-6. See what John does here. That was a miss hit. Overhit that ball. He's trying to go down to the front wall first, not
Side
side
out.
wall. That was just a bad overhit.
6 serving 3. Side out.
You're watching two masters play here.
3 serving 6.
3 serve 6. Strangely, both of these players wanted to play each other. And it just worked out perfectly with the
Point.
way that the rankings were, that they just fell right into place.
Four serving 6.
Now
Point.
it's 5-6.
5 serving 6. Short. Second. Point.
Now we're all together at 6.
6-6.
John Bike, 45 years of age from Hesperia, California. Dan Armijo is wanting a screen on that serve. I tend to agree with him, but now he...
Side out.
I agree.
Side out. I didn't think it was a screen. I decided for play to continue. I decided play to continue. He went like this to say that he was screened. I didn't think he was, so I allowed play to continue. Okay? Six.
I agree with what John's saying there. The other player raises his hands in the middle of John's back wall setup. That's what he's complaining about. Either you call the screen or you're going to call an avoidable. Referee calls none.
Point.
And then John says that would have never happened in the 80s.
7-6.
He actually did that for the cameras. 7 serve 6. Back in the 80s, John would have rolled that ball off the back wall, regardless of the hands being in the air.
6 serving 7.
Score here is 6-7. Dan goes down to the ground. John Bike pushes it back. Now the rally reset. John's keeping the pressure up, standing straight in front of Danny. These guys are trading blows here.
Hold it.
Crowd really quiet here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
6-7.
6 serve 7.
Screen ball.
Another way it would have never happened in the 80s. You weren't even born yet, Abe.
6-7.
6 serve 7.
Short. Second.
Well, yeah, okay. 1989.
Side out. 7 serving 6.
7 serve 6. This is the only game. It's a one-game match to 25, and you have to win by 2. That's a pretty good serve that Dan gets, but John is so strong from that position.
Side out. 6 serving 7.
6 serve 7.
Point.
Now we're all together at 7.
7-7. Screen ball.
That little body English you saw from John
7-7.
was for himself. Frustrated that he hit the ball back at himself there.
Point.
Now John scoring a couple points straight here.
8 serving 7.
John Bike to be inducted
Short.
into the USHA Hall of Fame in 2012.
Second. Side out. 7 serving 8.
7 serves 8.
Point.
Dan Armijo put his whole body into that. June 1st of 1962 is when Dan Armijo was born.
8-8.
Qualified. On the Pro Tour in the very early 80s. This actually marks his 30th year of entering the USHA Pro Singles at the Nationals. 30 straight years.
Side out.
And there's a point for Dan Armijo. Dan Armijo told me he beat everybody on the Pro Tour except for Dave Chapman. That's his only goal in handball right now.
8 serving 8.
8 serves 8.
Point.
Now John looks like he's starting to get tired.
9 serving 8. 9-8.
You're watching the simple green. WPH race for 8.
Side out. 8-9. Short. Second.
And another skip shot right there from the hand.
9 serving 9.
9 serves 9. 1 game to 25.
Short.
You have to win by 2.
Second.
Be a big setup here for Johnny. And Armijo down to one knee, and then John puts it away there.
Point. Ten serving 9.
10 serves 9. Talking about Dan Armijo being born in 1962, John Bike born in 1966, just in February of 66.
9 serving 10. Point.
That has to be frustrating right there.
10 serving 10.
Three wall shot. 1997, John Bike won the world singles by defeating David Chapman, and he also won the doubles with Dave Chapman that year. That was his greatest victories, he said.
Second. Side out. 10-10.
10 serves 10.
Side out. 10-10.
John keeps hitting these hard pass shots. Dan keeps tracking him down. And finally, John got one of those dump shots to fall for him here. We're all tied at 10. Scoreboard powered by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC.
10-10. Side out. Ten. Point. Serving 10. Short.
Score here is 11-10.
Second.
Referee is Abraham Montijo. He's in this tournament, and he plays Desi Keegan later this evening. I thought there was going to be contact there, but Dan slithered by John Bike.
10 serving 11. Point. Eleven.
There's another.
11.
Missed shots from John Bike there. Score here is 11-11.
Side out.
Dan thought that John was going to pound that ball down the left wall, and it checks up on the left wall and comes out toward the right.
11.
Crossed up Dan. 11 serves 11. John Bike serving to Dan Armijo. John giving Dan a little natural hook there. And there's John's about 20% on those dump shots in the front.
12.
12 serves 11.
Hold it, we're going to replay that. Yes.
A little congestion prior to that shot.
Replay, 12-11.
12 serves 11. And there's a side out.
It's a point.
Excuse me.
13-11.
13 serves 11. John taking a little off that. Looks like he's got something going on with his back here. John does have a bad back.
14-11.
14 serves 11. You can put John Bike in a $13 million home with all the luxuries, and he'll still sleep on the floor on a mat. That's what happens when you've got a bad back from years of playing handball.
11 serving 14.
11 serves 14. 1 game to 25. You have to win by 2, and I have a feeling this might go extra innings. See how John lets that ball develop.
Point.
See how I am right now? That's all I can get, 'cause this is
12 serving 14.
12 to 14, and you now see John Bike wincing as he grabs his back.
Point. (13 serving 14).
13 serves 14. Dan Armijo in the block. You're watching the First Star Sports Live broadcast of the first race for 8 stop in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho at Peak Health and Wellness. This is also the Jake Plummer family hell of a handball bash, essentially kicking off the pro 4-wall season.
Replay.
It's Dan Armijo.
Replay.
Dan Armijo streaking across the front there. If we had instant replay, I think the referee would agree that John Bike's right on that avoidable call. The player cannot be moving across the play.
13 serving 14.
13 serves 14.
Point. (14-14).
There's a get right there from Dan Armijo. Ball stays up. John goes to that two-wall pass. He's just not able to get the ball by, and now he can't kill with that right hand. There's a timeout call from John Bike.
First timeout. The score is 15-14.
Dan Armijo has 15. John Bike has 14, and there is a 60-second timeout. You're watching the First Star Sports live broadcast of the 2011 Simple Green Race for 8 and Jake Plummer Handball Bash, courtesy of the World Players of Handball, streaming live at racefor8.com. The scoreboard provided by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC. And of course, First Star Sports, where you can up your game, play just like the pros. The pros are actually wearing First Star Sports gear, and you'll find that tomorrow when they get onto the court with their new digs, feature their name and then also the name of the cities that represent them. For example, Armando Ortiz will be part of the Salt Lake City Aces, as is his teammate, Alan Garner. Tucson, Arizona's Nate Alvarado and Tommy Little will be sporting their shirts, and that's all courtesy of First Star Sports. You can find them online at firststarsports.com/WPH.
15 seconds.
We are playing one game to 25 matches for the qualifiers only, and then we resume that 2-game to 21 tiebreaker to 11 format. Also,
All right, time in.
players are playing the no bad bounce rule, so you have to play every bad bounce.
15 serving 14.
If the netting is hanging into the court,
15-14.
if the netting is hanging into the court, into the area of play, and the ball hits the netting in play, then the ball has to be played. But if it's up into the net is out of bounds. I want to clarify that for the ref.
Side out.
Sometimes we travel to places like this,
14-15.
and they have their own house rules
Short.
that we have to adhere to. But getting rid of the no bad bounce kind of gets rid of the house rules.
Second.
Second serve, John Bike serving at 14-15. Make that all together at 15. That was a strange hit right there from Dan Armijo.
(15-15). Point. (16-15). Short.
That's a good call.
Short ball. Second.
You see both of these guys constantly looking back at the referee as they can't hear him. It's not that you can't hear the ref from here, but these guys are getting old. It's one of the first thing it goes. That's a nice dig right there from Dan Armijo. The old Dan would have got up and ran back and hit that. When I say old Dan, I'm using that term loosely.
17-15.
17 serves 15. Boy, that ball had a strange bounce back there. Nothing you can do about it.
18 serving 15.
We were just thinking they might want their webcam
Short.
pointed at the game, but
I know.
Second serve. Point. (19) serving 15.
Apparently the AT&T guys felt like he was in their way, and I gave him authorization to turn it. So we turned our camera on that left corner away from
Point.
the documentary that is being filmed from AT&T, which is pretty exciting, and we'll talk about that more as the score is starting to build up for John Bike.
20 serving 15.
20 serves 15.
Side out. (15) serving 20.
Looked like it was 2 bounces, no call from Dan Armijo. John called it, then decided to put it away.
20 serving 15. Point. (21) serving 15.
Score is 21 to 15.
Side out. (15-21).
For those of you that have seen John Bike play throughout his career, he looks really, really fit right now. Down to 215 pounds, 6'4". Look at these gets from these guys. That was actually a really good miss hit from John. "95 years of age combined here. The crowd's gonna go nuts here. That's a nice shot right
Side
there
out.
from John Bike. We heard a smattering of applause there. I will admit I thought there'd be a little bit more clapping.
21 serving 15.
21 to 15, going to 25. You have to win by 2. John Bike serving. John Bike takes that ball off the back wall and has such a huge natural hook to it. Catches up to that, but he puts it into the ground. Very quiet crowd this time. Earlier rounds of the qualifier, very
15
noisy.
serving 21.
15 to 21.
Side out. Okay.
What was the call there from?
Back. Okay. Yeah, 15 minutes.
John Bike has taken an injury timeout. He hurt what looks like maybe an oblique or a back,
Scores 21-15.
lower back area. We're going to take a quick timeout here from the Peak Health and Wellness Center in beautiful Coeur d'Alene, Idaho in the Great Pacific Northwest. It's a Jake Plummer Hell of a Handball Bash Part 4 and the first race stop brought to you by Simple Green. The broadcast courtesy of First Star Sports, where you can up your game. We'll have more of this qualifier, this final match. The winner will be placed into the top 8 to make the Elite 12 and a chance at some big cash and some ranking points on the race for 8. That's why you see guys like John Bike coming in and playing an hour early before the match starts to get loose. But unfortunately, he's taken an injury timeout. That could be an indefinite thing, at least up to a few minutes, so we'll take a quick timeout here courtside and be back in just a bit. Stick with us at race48.com.
My dad's got a good little group playing down here.
want to make another head. Very handy with the sewing. No headband. All I need is a tie. That's perfect.
And we are back live from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Peak Health and Wellness Center, for the conclusion of this match between John Bike and Dan Armijo. John Bike is having back spasms here and had to take an injury timeout. He is currently up 21-15. But you can see he's, looks like something's going on with his lower back here.
21-15.
21 serves 15.
Side out. 15-21.
Score is 15-21. Big, huge hook from Dan Armijo. Now the crowd's starting to pour back into the Peak Health and Wellness Center here. John has to be really frustrated because that is the exact shot that he's been missing in this match.
16-21.
See how John does a head fake there. Looks like he's going to poke that ball down the right wall, and instead he goes inside out. Drags Danny with him to the right, punches it down the left.
21-16.
Score is 21-16 here. 4 points away from John Bike qualifying again after spending virtually 20 years on the Pro Tour, having to re-qualify. As you recall,
22-16.
John Bike was unable to qualify against Luis Cordova at the last pro stop. That's a good call from the ref. Very good call, about an inch in.
Second.
John Bike lost to Dan Cordova to qualify in Tucson back in, I believe, March, April.
Side out. (16-22).
That's a short
ball. Short ball. Short ball. Second.
Armijo's selling out here.
Side out.
And then John Bike gets the side out.
22-16.
22 serves 16. 3 points away. John Bike will advance into the round of 8. Look at that nice shot right there from Dan Armijo. Crowd likes it too. This is going to be high off the back wall. And then he goes between the legs. Look at this rally right here. John between the legs now. Now the crowd's into it.
Side out.
That's a tough one. Breaking through the screen, hitting that punch fist right there.
No.
That's tough. Tough call.
16-22.
16-22. I thought Dan Armijo was hindered, but he broke through and hit the kill shot to get the side out. And then John Bike skips that ball in. If John Bike were to go on to get 3 more points, he'd have a good day of rest.
17-22.
17 serves 22. And there's the side out.
22-17.
Want to say hello to Juan Uribe out of Central California. Nice shot right there from Dan Armijo. Juan watching the live broadcast here, courtesy of First Star Sports.
(17-22).
17 serves 22. This is the qualifying bracket between Dan Armijo and John Bike.
Side out.
Looked like John was crowding Danny on that shot. Don't know exactly what was going on there. John Bike has a equipment failure here. His glove snapped open. He's going to have to change those. You're watching the First Star Sports live broadcast of the 2011 Race for 8, sponsored by Simple Green and the Plummer Family Hell of a Handball Bash. As we take a quick look on the computer monitor, what kind of matchups we have here. Looks like John Bike and Dan Armijo are in the Jimmy Slavin bracket. Jimmy Slavin, one of the local legends here in Coeur d'Alene. Been around for 30, 40 years. His father played handball, and he's a legend up here. Coming up next will be the Charlie Shanks Eric Plummer match.
Glove change.
And now we have a 2-minute glove change. That's in the Judd Heathcote bracket, who was a college coach in Washington.
Ripped. It was ripped. Still got a minute left.
Eric Plummer is in the bottom bracket versus Ireland's Charlie Shanks. That will be a match coming up right here on the live broadcast. And then if, of course, you're on your favorite social network site, tweet or Facebook status update the address so people that you know that are unfamiliar with handball can watch. We want to spread the news about the sport. Abe Montijo and Desi Keegan kick off at 6 o'clock. Right before that will be Eric Hilgren and Luis Cordova, and that is going to be one heck of a match at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That will be in the Bill Peoples bracket. John Bike's gloves split out, so he has to change it. He has just a couple seconds to get back into the box here.
All right, I'm in. (22) serving 17.
John Bike 3 points away.
Point. 23-17.
23 serves 17. Look at that ball hop away.
Point.
Amazing serve right there from John Bike.
24 match point serving 17.
Here it is, match point. There it is. John Bike
Game and
qualifies as the first person to qualify for the race for 8. Guys acting like a bunch of gorillas in there. John Bike actually qualifying now here is the first person to qualify on the race for 8 and takes down Dan Armijo by the score of 25-17. Dan Armijo very frustrated, a little upset here for losing this as we get ready for another one coming up right around the corner. Get this replay here from John and Danny. John dumping that ball in the left corner, and that's what it took in order to qualify and advance to the race for 8. He now gets ranking points no matter what happens. And those points are valuable. Only 8 players, those in the top 8, will have a chance to go to Seattle and play in the Players' Championship in May. We're going to take a quick timeout. That instant replay provided by Tucson Rolling Shutters. TucsonRollingShutters.com online. Check them out as we get ready for Charlie Shanks stepping in against Eric Plummer in about, let's give him 10 minutes or so. Stick around. We'll have more handball action coming up in just a bit at www.race48.com. We'll be back right around the corner.